Good evening and welcome to the best evening talk show in the capital, The Dish. My name is Miriam Udwa Commenta, your host. We're coming to you live from the MX24 studios, all in the streets, East Legon, Accra. A happy new year to all of you. We love and miss you. You've been amazing to us, and this season has been absolutely buzzing. I have enjoyed every bit of the conversations and discussions we've had on here on the show, and the purpose of this conversation is empowering each other, and we've given you empowering insights on women's issues, on global development as well. But join us today as we continue to amplify women's voices, challenge the status quo, and spark meaningful change with progressive women. I always tell you that the tagline, the reason why I come back with this intro is that you need to understand that it is with progressive women. Women in 2025, we need to learn to do better with ourselves. And so we listen to each other, we learn from each other, and we unlearn the things that we do not need. And that's what we're doing right here on the show. I want to say a big thank you to Decazone for holding us up, because our set is beautifully put together by Decazone, of course. To Betway Cowbell Coffee, Flora Tissues, Tango Washing Powder, Telecel, Club Shandy, and LPG. But before we get into the conversation, let's talk about something we all want. That is success. Everybody wants it. Everybody dreams of it. We all aspire to succeed and make a mark in life. We push ourselves to excel, enduring challenges along the way just to be successful. Chale, when work gets tough, and I bet it will, you need that extra boost to keep pushing forward. And on those days where you need someone to be there for you, guess what? Cowbell Coffee will be by your side. It's a rich, creamy 3-in-1 blend with a great taste and aroma that would aid kickstart your day. So whether you're working or just creating beautiful memories with friends and loved ones, Cowbell Coffee will be there with you every single moment. So no matter where you're at, as you chase after those goals, women out there, as you chase after those goals, keep Cowbell Coffee close to stay motivated and going. Remember, Cowbell Coffee is with you every single moment. Now, let me remind you that this show is an interactive one, so please send in your comments and reactions, and of course your opinion on the topics we discuss right here on the show. You can send it to all our social media platforms, MX24GH, on all social media platforms. Remember, the hashtag is the Dish on MX. It's the Dish on MX. Well, today is another big day, and tonight is another big evening. We're going to be having big conversations right here. And this one particularly, I think it's a great way to start this year to have these conversations. Women getting into business, women who have planned in your New Year resolution, you said you were going to start a business. But who are you looking up to? Who is encouraging you? Who is your mentor? Who are you looking up to start that business? What are you supposed to learn or unlearn and relearn to start that business? Well, today we're talking to women in entrepreneurship, of course, overcoming challenges and embracing new opportunities in the ever-evolving business landscape. Guys, they tell you that when they started the business, they had an idea of what it will look like. What does it look like now? Now, in the ever-evolving landscape of global business, women entrepreneurs are increasingly taking the lead in shaping industries, driving innovation, and challenging traditional norms. However, despite their growing presence and influence, women still face unique challenges. And I always use the word unique because, trust me, the things women face in different areas are unique to women only. Men do not see this. And I'm telling you humbly, this, okay? Of course, these unique challenges that can hinder their success, from securing funding and breaking strong gender biases to managing work-life balance and accessing mentorship. The path to entrepreneurial success for women is often more complex than for their male counterparts, and it's a fact. Yet, alongside these challenges, significant opportunities have emerged. The rise of the digital economy, a shift toward more inclusive leadership style, and growing support networks have provided women entrepreneurs with a new avenue for growth and success. As women continue to break barriers and create businesses that are both financially successful and socially impactful, their role in the modern business world has never been more crucial. This conversation will explore the dual nature of the entrepreneurial journey for women, the challenge that persists, because these challenges just keep showing up and you're like, how am I going to take over this thing? Okay, right now the opportunities that are reshaping the business landscape, offering insights into how women can not only navigate but thrive in today's dynamic economy. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening I'm joined by my wonderful guests. These are two women who are doing so well in the diverse businesses that they find themselves in. Mrs. Stephanie Edu Mudikongo. She's the founder and CEO of Colorbox Cosmetics. Yes, I know. Yes, like who else do you want me to start with this with? Because who else fits this conversation better? And of course, we're also joined by Hushamat. Maswad. She is an entrepreneur, sells clothes, does decor. She's one of she's like you. She's like you. You're doing a lot of things at the same time. We're going to see how that works. If it's advisable to get into businesses at 3-4 different businesses at the same time, even though women naturally we are, endowed with that multitasking nature. Well, good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
First of all, Happy New Year. Yes. You ladies are looking amazing.
Thank you.
The money has already started coming.
Oh, yes. Amen.
I like it. Did I pronounce your name well?
You tried.
Ushamat.
We'll take it like that.
Because at this point, you can't help it. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's a new year, new goals, new energy. So we're here.
Oh my God. You already said that the money is coming because you are into events.
Yes.
During this season, it's like your cocoa season. It gets very stressful because I think I found myself in that space. And when I went there, it's like, no, this is not my calling. But let's start this way. What do you think is a common misconception people have about women entrepreneurs?
Okay.
I'm going to start with you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I would like to say good evening to all your viewers as well. What often I see is that when women are doing well in business, right, people tend to think that there's a man somewhere funding such women. I mean, if a man is actually funding a woman do something, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to do it. But there are actually women who are there who are doing this business on their own. But because probably they want to go for a vacation and then someone sees it and be like, there's a man funding. But these are women who travel all the way to China, carry goods on their heads, and then be going up and down. The person comes home and then maybe they want to go and chill. And then you think that it's someone's money. So I think that's usually, that's the misconception people have about women in business generally. Yeah.
Mrs. Mudikongo.
I'm going to go from a different angle.
Okay.
I think a misconception is that women think they can have everything all at the same time as an entrepreneur, and you can't. It's not realistic. It happens in stages, especially if you are someone who wants to get married and have kids. There is a time for everything. So you have to understand your path, try your best to reach your goals, and then make room for what matters most at the time in your life.
So this one, and I love that you bring this up because this is a personal misconception that women think that, because we are multitasking individuals, we can do this. I can start 5 businesses at the same time and should be able to work. If it's not working, it's some devil.
And be a mother, and be a wife, and be a daughter, and be a sister, and all those things at the same time. And it's not realistic. So, but what is realistic is to put it into stages. And then to focus on different stages at different times of your life. That is realistic, and that is what makes us special.
Have you personally found some personal challenges navigating this journey of entrepreneurship? Do you want to share that with us?
Oh my goodness, where do you start? Like, where do you start?
Let's start from the funding aspect.
Oh, the funding.
Yes.
100% difficult. And I always say, for entrepreneurs, no matter male or female, but we're talking to the women here, nobody's here to fund your dreams.
No.
Right? And everybody needs to get that. Nobody is here to fund your dreams. You have to get to your dream from 0 to 1. When you get it to 1, then you can get other sources of income and aspects to get it from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and above. But the funding, and most people get stuck at the point of, I don't have money to start, right? You need to be able to be resourceful to get it from 1 to 0. And then, once you've proven yourself, avenues open up for you.
when it comes to funding, I know clothing can be a little easier for certain people. Others to the kind of clothing you're trying to sell. If you want to be selling to the Hajias, you know you have to go to Dubai.
Yes.
Because if you don't go to Dubai, Hajia will not come to your store.
That's very true.
How do you, let me stay with you personally.
Okay.
How did you get yourself into this space? And the two businesses that at least I mentioned, the event, I know that if you don't have the equipment, you can always get what you call it, vendors to help you. But do you think that personally, looking at this journey that you've been on, and how long have you been doing your business though?
4 years.
4 years
on 7 January.
Oh, wonderful! Congratulations!
Thank you.
4 years is not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Some people's own started 1 year. 1 year no crown,
Especially with the currency and everything else. 4 years is not a joke.
Rate.
Tell me what your journey looked like, especially with the issue of funding.
So for me, when I started this business, in fact, I didn't see it in this long, like getting this path. So I was in school. I started with diploma, and then when I completed in 2019, I started my service. But in UPSA, you have the opportunity to be an evening student and then at the same time doing your national service. So I was doing my national service during the day and then going to school in the evening. But I realized that the school fees and then the hostel fees was expensive. I can't leave all that to my parents. So then the national service money that I was getting, I started with it. But when I even started, it wasn't something that I saw being
You're just using it to pay your fees.
Exactly.
So when you're done,
it's just something just to keep me. So that's how I started with, and this is where we are. So that is how I actually started. But even with that, because I was using the money to fund myself, I wasn't really saving or maybe investing the money. So what I did was I started with drop shipping. So with drop shipping, probably you are in a group and then they post items. So you post the item and then you also add your profit to it. So that's how I started with, and then I also.
And that's not like much money, really.
No,
because the thing is not.
It's not much. So one thing about not much money is that the moment you put that in your head, probably you are not going to get anywhere. But the little coin that you get, you put it together, it will amaze you that you're actually making something. So it's not only maybe you are probably in just one group, maybe you are in 5 or 10 groups. Then you'll be posting their items, and when you do this, the item doesn't even come to you. They'll handle the delivery, everything. So the only thing is just get the customers to be on your side, and you keep the customers. They will handle the delivery and then everything for you.
Talk about looking for diverse streams of income. If you're sitting here and you're just joining the conversation, I'm glad that you did, because you're going to be learning ways to make money this year. And if you have started your own business, it's important to also learn the lessons that they have learned. So stay right here with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, in your opinion, right, what's the biggest barrier for women in entering into business? What is restricting a lot of women from starting their own businesses, even though they have these brilliant ideas?
I'm going to say something that I think maybe sounds cliche, but it's the truth. It is self-belief. It's self-belief. This entrepreneurship game is 90% mental. You have to understand that you yourself can do it. Once you have you've made it up in your mind that you are going to do this, it's like things fall in place for you, but you have to decide. Because if you are the one putting barriers on yourself, the world too will also put barriers on you. But you have to decide, I am doing this. And women do it all the time. Whether you're in school and you're like, oh, I like that boy and he's going to be my boyfriend. And you've made up your mind and that boy is now your boyfriend. Or you've made up your mind that, you know what, I'm going to go to this school and I'm going to study this course. You made up your mind and you make it happen. That same thing, you need to decide that I can do this. And then once you get that self-belief, you're like 70% there.
Wonderful. You started a business off with a need. It was your personal need. It doesn't mean a need you found, a problem you found to solve. You found a personal problem. Like, you know what, the only way I can solve this, my personal problem, is to find money myself. What was the thing that restricted you the most? That maybe at some point, especially now we know how you started the clothing business, but when it comes to the event, considering the fact that there's so many event companies in this country, ones with names, others with no names, but they're just somewhere. how did you start, and what restricted you the most? At some point, thinking that, listen, I'm not doing this anymore.
So with the events, for instance, I think it's been 1 year. I'm in event management. Yes. I was working 9 to 5 while doing my clothing business.
Yes.
So I think the company said they were moving to Morocco, so I had to leave. And then when I came, I think my cousin was like, let's just go and join this event management class. I was like, okay, why not? Then I heard like noises from somewhere saying, hey, that you have a degree, you're going to do events management. I was like, what? At 24, this era, we don't. It's not about degree. I mean, I'm big on school, yeah. But I think that if you can learn a skill, it is great. So for me, if the some of the restrictions I saw was that like they felt like, hey, we are doing this, we want to go and do this at the same time too. But I realized that these days, some of the things that go on is events. People do events and everything. Like, so you'll be there and when it started, like, it was coming. Like, the job was coming. It was coming. Then, like, myself, I was surprised. I was like, wow, it's good. Because sometimes, because for now, when I was in school, it was more of, I didn't really have the attention to my business and all of that. But for now, I'm doing business full time. Yes, that's what I'm doing full time. And I feel like, imagine I didn't have any job to do.
Or you listen to people that were telling you
exactly
this thing.
I wouldn't have gotten there. So it's great. It has been great.
Let's come back to something that you mentioned earlier that I think is also a thing that a lot of women, because I even added it to my intro, that we multitask. It's one of our superpowers, and we tend to want to exploit or happen to exploit every time we find ourselves in business. But then there's also the bit where you said, and I love that you brought it up, reality is you cannot do it all. And so you need to have a structured life. At the same time.
Yes.
You're a mother, you're a wife, and you're a business owner. You're probably doing some side business. You probably have a full-time job with a side business. How are you personally? Because you recently adored your new product. And questions have been, how are you doing this? When you came on board, you came with brushes.
Yes.
Now you're doing lip gloss. How are you going to market this? What is the plan for the business? Aside all these this empire that you're trying to build, how about your family? How are you able to balance?
You know, and all the other roles as well, where people, whether you like it or not, they'll see you as a mentor.
Yeah.
You are a daughter. You are, as I said, I'm a wife. I am a sister. I am an auntie, right? And all of these are important, right? So you really do have to compartmentalize and understand that anybody who looks like they're having it all together is not telling you the truth. There's something happening behind the scenes. They have help, right? They have a structure of help. They are at a time in their life where they can concentrate on just business, right? And so sometimes, you know, life happens, and you've got to be able to give yourself the grace to understand that, okay, how to shift your goals in a certain way so that you can hit them once again as soon as you are able to. But, you know, being a wife is important. Being a daughter is important. Your parents are not going to be here forever. You know, you have to show things and show time to the things that are important to you. But it's all about the same time. So if you are young and you start a business, then go all out. It's just you, yourself, and you that you need to think about.
It's not just young. When you're single.
Yes.
And you're starting your business.
Yes, that is actually true. Point blank period. If you are single and you have a goal, then go for it, right? Now, you will make concessions when that person comes in, and hopefully the person that you choose will support you on your journey, right? But you will need to make concessions. There are other demands on you. And there is other female entrepreneurs that I look up to that will say, you know, at certain times, these board meetings will be important. And at other times, my parents will require my attention. So there's no such thing as a work-life balance. It's about what requires my attention at that certain point in time. And then from that, if you understand that, then you are able to give yourself grace and able to accomplish so many more things.
It's a difficult thing.
It's extremely difficult.
But you do it almost effortlessly that people do not see that you're not able to achieve anything. And so that's why she said it, caution. word of coaching. If you see someone doing it flawlessly, it's not all that you see that is the truth.
It's not.
They just want to show you what they want to show you.
Absolutely.
Because the actual fact is that what's happening behind the scenes is crazy. You're doing your masters.
Yes.
Yeah.
She said she's a fan of school now. She said,
Chick, how do you intend doing this? Are you married though?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you have the time to do all of these things, so you're taking advantage of it. But how are you balancing all of this?
So currently,
school, business.
Yes. Before I even started my masters, you know how when you get to a certain age, it's about marriage. You know, like your aunties, everybody is just talking about you need to get married and everything. I mean, I'm big on marriage. Like it's good from our traditional. It's good for you to get married. So what I did was I always told myself that I'm waiting for marriage. Marriage has not come. Do I sit down and keep on waiting for marriage? No. You need to do something while you are waiting. And doing something like that is more like age. Because when you think that, okay, I'm 40, I don't think I should go back to school. If you are 40 right now, you need to put in your mind that this 2025 you will be 41. And
time is
whether
not
you had
waiting
gone
for
to school or you didn't go, the time is gone.
Yes.
Exactly. So you need to like make sure that you plan your life in a certain way that at the end of the day you don't end up losing the two.
exactly.
You don't end up losing the two. So with school, currently I'm done with my classes. I'm only waiting to submit my project and then I'll be able to graduate. So currently it's just business. That's
more. Okay,
focusing
that's good.
on.
So you've seen yourself through it.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about mentorship and networking. A lot of women don't like networking.
It's true.
And a lot of women are also very scared of mentorship.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. A lot of women, and we're blessed to have a vice president now, who is female, who has actually reiterated a conversation that we've been telling ourselves, that if only we had someone who would hold the door open for us, we probably would have more successful women in business than we do have now. She said she's going to open the door for us and keep it open.
Amen.
And when a friend of mine said, "Oh, is it that she's going to be connecting all the women?" I said, "No, no, that's not what it means." So if you don't understand what the vice president said, I'm going to explain to you this morning. It's this evening, sorry, because a lot of women do not see a lot of women in her class succeed.
There you go.
A lot of women in education are not seen. A lot of women lecturers, a lot of women professors, a lot of women who have become ministers have gone on and wasted all our time and their time as well. Because once their party is out of power, they're almost, for lack of a better expression, useless, because you don't see them again until their party is campaigning or something like that. But she's raising through all these ranks, especially in the educational sector, because a lot of women in that sector are almost sidelined. Their successes are not talked about a lot.
Exactly.
The women in banking that if you hear their stories, you'll be inspired. But a lot of women, these women are not talked about. All we see is the social media girls and boys and girls and women who have certain things to show us. That is not, sometimes to an extent, it's not even realistic, really and truly. She's holding the door open so you see a woman that has risen through the ranks, who has learned. She allowed herself to be a professor, to be a teacher, to be an educator, to a vice chancellor, done all these things. And now she has made history. That door is open for all young girls to see that you can do it the right way. So if you've been wondering whether she's coming to give you connection, this is the connection. This is all the connection you need, young lady. And again, so it brings us back to the conversation of mentorship. A lot of women are scared of women mentors. Because she's going to mentor you and subdue your abilities. She wants you to serve her, but she also doesn't want you to glow. And I'm grateful for the mentor I have. My mother is my mentor. I have two mothers. Blessed, I have two mothers. One is my role model. The other is my mentor. So nobody else is apart from Sarah Jakes, though. And I always tell her that it is the way she allows me to not lose the softness I have, chasing after the tough things in this life.
Beautiful.
We don't have these mentors. For lack of a better expression, we don't have women holding women's hands, opening doors for women without condition. It's either they see your personality as a threat, or your abilities as a threat. How are we able to leverage these little doors that are open onto us? Women who are ready to mentor, how do we take advantage of these opportunities? And also, how does it help us as young women starting business?
Oh my goodness, it's a big question. I know. It's a big question.
I know.
And I'll take it from both angles, because just like how an employee and an employer, finding a good employee and finding a good employer, it's all about matching. Because if you don't, and you get a bad employer with a good employee, that employee is now going to be tarnished, and his view is going to be tarnished. And so when he goes into his next job, he's now going to come with a bad attitude. So now when you go into the spirit on the world of mentorship, the mentor has to understand that it's a thankless job, and you may not, like, all your job is to plant seeds and to help them be watered, and just hope that everything that you're doing is going to produce the fruit. And also, as a mentor, you also have to try your best to know what your strengths are, to compartmentalize, right? Because I think that just because maybe you could be twice divorced, and your personal life may be not at a stage where you want as a mentor, but you could be killing it in the professional space, and that's where you can add your value, and that's where you can share your gift. So it's about, I think, compartmentalization for the mentor. And as for the mentee has to be ready to also have an opinion for themselves, and not to just be submissive, but to also try their best to add value to this relationship that they are getting from, because it's a very, very big ask for someone to take time out to mentor you. So you have got to come with the energy, with the right attitude, show up, have an opinion, be there and work. So if those two sides can happen, then, but it's a question of, again, trust. Trust is the biggest thing. And I've noticed that, again, I didn't grow up here. When I came here, I realized that there was an inherent lack of trust amongst women.
There is.
And how I've been able to overcome that is just with time. So you have to observe one another from afar to understand whether this is someone that you actually want to be connected with, and see them in different lights. And then you can be connected with this person and be like, feel comfortable that you're connected with the person. And no matter even that the person misses road, you know that the core of this person is a good person, so I can stick with this person.
Because some of these mentors have also been hurt in the past.
Absolutely.
And because they're human beings, they have shut out.
Absolutely.
Even though their actual inherent desire is to make more of themselves. Make more of successful women out here. They're also very scared to pour into anybody because of the ingratitude they've had to face. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, as mostly my ladies watching this evening, we're talking women in entrepreneurship, all the amazing things that you need to learn. And I say amazing carefully, because everything you're learning on this show this evening is an amazing experience that will help or aid you to kickstart that business that you're looking at starting this year. Well, we'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the networking bits with you. But when we come back, the conversation continues right here on The Dish. We'll be right back.
Every day is packed with its own surprises. You never know which thrill is around the corner.
Feel good. Feel good.
Or how it will play out. There's a sense of excitement.
Did our plane just stop? Another cash out.
That adds a little magic to my everyday.
Feels like a party tonight.
Michael has been exceptional, surpassed all his targets. Let's hear from this year's Staff of the Year.
This wouldn't be possible without a strong relationship. You've been with me through university. All those days of studying together just to ace those tests, which we did, by the way. And those days of the side hustles. You were there. All of these have prepared me for this moment. Cowbell Coffee has been there with me every single step of the way.
For the big days and the seemingly ordinary, creamy cowbell coffee is with you every moment.
This advert is FDA approved.
Sisi ma send you BS Kamano. Intimate chemo. Kodo na ponchine.
Suwa, ma send pictures na ma. Choose your pet. Na fe send this Kamano.
Sending money from Telecel Cash to Telecel Cash is free. You can also make payments to merchants on all networks with Telecel Cash.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Shopping just got easier, better, and smarter. A-Z Department Store, your trusted go-to shopping destination in Ghana. It's live online. Experience the same trusted in-store excellence from the comfort of your home. From fashion to lifestyle essentials, we've redefined shopping to suit your lifestyle. Simply visit www.onlinestore.azgroupgh.com. Browse, click, and enjoy seamless shopping anytime, anywhere. The offers get even better. 10% discount on first order, free delivery. Note that you can pay via cash on delivery, Momo, and Visa. A-Z Department Store, lifestyle redefined. You're welcome back to the show. This is The Dish, and of course, I'm your host. My name is Miriam Udwak-Mensah. The conversation has been very interesting in the studios. If you're a young woman trying to start your own business, you're at the right place at the right time. We're having very important conversations. If you've missed this, the very first part of the show, just go back to X. We're live on there, so you can watch back what we have said, the conversations we've had so far, so you can keep yourself abreast and updated on what to do as you get on this journey of entrepreneurship. Now, also remember that we're held down by Decozon, Cowbell Coffee. Of course, Club Shandy is also holding us down, LPG, and you, who is my wonderful guest all the time on the show. My guests are still in the studio. We're talking entrepreneurship, women, challenges, the wins, the low times, the challenges that we're facing. Let's talk about networking. And I said earlier right here that women are scared of networking. And I'll give you a reason why I say that.
Okay.
Some women are scared of going out of their space because other women make it uncomfortable for them to be in certain spaces, number one. Men have also shown themselves to be very domineering in this space. You would have to prove that you can do better than me. And the great men, and I'm saying this with my full chest, there are men who are absolutely amazing,
yes,
will support you.
Yes.
But you have to also justify your inclusion,
yeah,
with them. You're not coming because you're pretty. I'm not helping you because you're pretty.
Yeah.
Because that alone, it's not enough to do what I am doing. So if you want to do what I am doing, you want to be successful at this entrepreneurship journey, this entrepreneurship journey, show me what you've got.
Yeah.
And a lot of women are scared of showing, of communicating what they think the capacities
and
are.
even backing themselves, like back yourself.
Yes, like I got this, I can do it.
Yeah.
the women cannot do that. That can be a foundational, environmental, all factors, cultural,
this thing, yeah.
all that could come to play. But social media, all the other medias have shown us that networking is a thing. How are we able to leverage these opportunities available to us to build thriving businesses?
Okay. So one thing I've learned about networking is, like you said, women are not, like, we feel like we are not confident enough. So sometimes you go to a program and then you probably want to speak to this person and then you are laid back. You don't want to do it. I've been in that space before. I think that at a point I wanted to speak to one lady, Hajia. I was like, this woman will be good for my business. So, but how do I speak to her? So I think I saw a lady I knew who was talking to her. Immediately, I ran to the lady. I was like, please, can you take me to this woman? I want to speak with her. And she did that, and then I was like, oh, please, I saw clothing, and this thing I'm wearing is from my shop. So if you want, I can. And she's like, oh, that's nice. She took my contact. I also took hers. Definitely, I wouldn't wait for her to text me or call me. I did the texting, and then I'll just be there, and then I'll send her my items to check out. So that's what I do with networking. And when it comes to social media, for instance, social media is good. Like, it has helped us. But one thing about social media is that it's not the fact that we have Instagram. Okay, I'll go and post on Instagram and then that's it. You need to utilize it well. We have paid ads on Instagram that you need to do. And then also you need to leverage on, let's say for instance, YouTube. We have so many people who are teaching us how to go about entrepreneurship on YouTube and all of that. You need to leverage on all those tools, and then you can get there as an entrepreneur.
Have you noticed the unique leadership skills in women? Whether they're being the outright no-nonsense boss, or they're just being the sweetheart boss that you are looking forward to going to work with, that our male counterparts don't have. I don't know if any of you have noticed it. If the boss is a proper B, she's going to show up like that. And show up so much that you see that, don't mess with her. I remember I entered into an office. It was a media station, like it was a multimedia station, a company. And when I went in there, I was told there's this one particular woman that you don't play with. When she talks, everybody disappears. But people have been running since they started the company from her. Like, when they hear that she's coming, no BA Johnny. But then I met this woman. She was so lovely. I met her at a church program. I met her at a one of those business seminars, and she recognized me. And she's like, "Hey, you work with us. I've not seen you in a long time. I've been watching your fanfare. I like what you're doing." And she was so polite and nice to me. And I asked myself, what is it about this woman that is so scary? That because I see her, she's so sweet. And then I realized that again, it's individual connections to people that build all these situations, right? And so people are not designed to be one thing, but there are people who are just that. No nonsense. Why are you coming to my office? But even with that, they still get people to continue to work with them 11 years, 15 years. All these qualities that women seem to have over our male counterpart, are we using them the right way?
I don't know if it's from that angle though, because again, as a woman, we definitely do have a nurturing side.
Yes.
And that nurturing side will, once the person who she's nurturing recognizes that skill, then of course they want to stick with that because they understand the value in that, and it's beyond work. This person wants me to do well. So from the women bosses that I've seen, they actually want you to be well or do well as a person, holistically, right? And sometimes, as I said, we don't necessarily see that in the male counterparts, which usually maybe with strictly business or, you know, it's just a different, they just view things differently or view their employees differently. But I think it's more from the employee side or the person side, like how you approached her and how you saw her was obviously different from how others saw her, but she's the same person. So whatever energy you give her is what she's going to multiply and give back to you.
It's more of energy.
Because we have that. We'll multiply it and
that
give
one,
back
we'll
to
give it, we'll multiply and give it back to you.
You're not going to get the same thing.
No,
I'm sorry. It's going to be multiplied.
Yes, absolutely. A return on investment. Now, if it's a positive or negative one, it's up to
you. What do you make of that?
I think that with women, when you see a woman and then, like you said, probably you feel like, oh, this person is no nonsense person or something. I always feel like it's always good to try. Like, it's not a bad thing to try, whether the outcome is positive or negative. Just go and speak to the person. If it's good, great. If it's not, great.
It's not the end of the world.
It's more like you are in business, and with business, definitely at a point you fail. You won't get it all rosy all the time. And if it comes, embrace it, because failure is more of something. It's like a stepping stone for you to learn.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
We cannot have this conversation without talking about technology and its contribution to either the failure or success of businesses. Now, narrowing it down to women business owners and women businesses. How do you think, and I want to say this way, do we think that we have explored, or it's helping, the digital tools that are available to us is helping shape our business a bit more easier than it used to? What are the challenges that are, because I know both your businesses are online as well, and so you're utilizing that opportunity.
Yeah.
What has it done significantly, whether bad or good, to women entrepreneurs and women business owners?
I think it's been amazing, fantastic, and I feel like more women need to utilize what is available to them. Technology is a tool, and we should be able to utilize that tool to help grow our businesses. Now, women are very fast learners, very fast learners. So if we need to understand how AI is going to help our businesses, if we need to know how different features of Instagram, if your business is on Instagram, can help our businesses, then once we have got in our mind that yes, we can learn how to do it, then it will absolutely allow us to, for example, make money online whilst you are attending to your kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can, in that sense, literally juggle the two, because technology is there to help support you and your business.
How about you?
Yeah, I also think that technology is good, because for me, everything is just online for me. And when it comes to business, you know, even when you're starting a business, you mostly will rely on your friends, right? But the thing is, your friends will not continue to support you. It will even amaze you that for 4 years that you've been in business, a friend has never even patronized you before, right? I'm not saying that you should be expecting something from them, or like trying to make.
But that's
your
like closest, you know.
Exactly, but it's not. It's not like important. Like, it's not really something that they have to do it for you to be. If they do it, fine. If they don't, fine. So for technology, for instance, when you do paid ads on Instagram or Facebook or something, you tend to meet new customers. And thanks to TikTok, because TikTok has been amazing, because
I see you benefit from TikTok.
When you post your products on TikTok, you wake up and then the notification you are getting, and it's exciting that you are meeting new customers. Like, these are people who don't know you. And like they want to purchase something from you, right? So I think that technology has been good, and as business owners, probably you have to be out there. So for maybe your viewers watching, they will know that I don't like to put my face out there, right? But sometimes, because you need to build trust, your face has to be there. Sometimes, if probably you are not comfortable with that, because for some women, these are some of the things that don't allow them to go into business, because the person is less confident. They feel like, hey, I can't do this social media thing. You don't have to put your face out there to be in business, right? But sometimes you need to put it there just to build trust with your customers. Yes.
There's different ways of doing business, and there's different ways of showing up, right?
Exactly.
So once you get to that, there's not one way to do it all.
Exactly.
You find your way to do it. Then,
or you post your customers' pictures, and then you are good to go.
And you're good to go.
Yeah.
We're gradually getting to the end of this conversation, but I want us to talk about the individuals that have business ideas in their heads. Yeah, they're like Mimi K. They will stay in their rooms and pray to God. But they're very hesitant on starting these businesses for fear of failure, fear of lack of funding, fear of lack of sustainability. All of these things show up in their minds, and they're like, you know, maybe not this year, maybe not this year, maybe not this year. For women who keep doing this to themselves, what is your advice to them? And you can use your story.
Right. The first thing I would say is that your fears are not facts. And you need to understand that your fears are not reality. They are not facts. So, first of all, as you said, why not give it a try? what is the worst that can happen?
Could happen.
Honestly, what is the worst that can happen?
True.
To be honest, nobody's really watching anybody. Everybody's got absorbed in their own life.
Even now.
Even now. So please don't think that people are watching you or they really fundamentally care whether you fail or succeed. No, it's up to you to make them care if you want to succeed in that light. So that's number one. Number two is you have to be relentless. You have to be relentless and you have to be resilient. Now,
relentless and
resilient. If you are entering into the entrepreneurship game, these two R's have to be your best friend. Now, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and that also is okay. It's fine. Being a corporate babe, having a great 9 to 5 and rising through the ranks, that is also okay. But if you do want to enter into entrepreneurship, then the two R's, resilience and...
Resilience and... oh my God. Relentlessness.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. Exactly. So being relentless to go after your goals and to be resilient, whereas when the knocks do come, you pick yourself back up and you go again. And those are the two things that not only have helped me, but have helped every single female entrepreneur that I've ever listened to, ever. And so just go for it. Back yourself, have self-belief, do the work. Do the work and go for it.
The word resilience and relentlessness probably has been one of those two words we have abused on this platform. I say abuse carefully because we think that a lot of young people need to hear that one of the core ingredients to their success is resilience. Because every time you're told you cannot do it, the only thing that makes you show up again and again and again is your relentlessness, is your resilience to go back to that thing that you believe in.
Absolutely.
And I think that we do so well on this platform to encourage people that, listen, it's hard. Now that's that, and I think a couple of days ago we're talking about resilience not being the absence of adversity.
Thank you very much.
Because the fact that you're resilient does not mean that the adversity will see you and run away before it gets close to you.
No.
It's coming right into your face. And you need to know that it is part of the success story.
It's part of the journey. It's part of the journey.
Ma'am, your advice to my young geese and my girls. And a very wonderful woman once told me that, you see, this is my generation, Gen Z people. They're very entitled.
Oh, yes.
Very entitled. This wonderful woman, I don't want to mention her name. They're very entitled.
Yes.
Because we think that everything should be handed over to us. We think that because we are here, we exist, or we've showed up on the surface of the earth, everything should be handed over to us, or we should have everything. And what hasn't been given to us is the
fault of somebody else.
It's the fault of somebody else, not mine.
Yes.
Yeah, because who wants to take the fault to themselves?
Exactly.
What would be your advice to me and my generation?
So what I would say is that, you know, there are so many businesses out there. In fact, there are so many people doing the same thing. There's so many people selling makeup. There's people selling clothing. Business is like doing research, right? My professor will tell you that you need to find that gap in the research. What is the gap? The fact that somebody is doing something doesn't mean that you can't do the same thing. You can do it. But what is the new thing you are bringing on board? Someone is doing, somebody has to pay for delivery for you to deliver their item to them. Okay, you are coming in. I'm introducing no delivery system. And for me, my business, when you buy from me, you won't pay delivery. And that's a gap you've closed, right? So I think that the fact that people are doing business doesn't mean that you can't do same. Yes, you can always go for it, like start it. And the fact that when you start, you see people posting their money. So Gen Zs are usually on Snapchat, right? And Snapchat, we have a lot of influencers who are into business, like big time business. And you see it and they're like,
you see their money, like, you'll be like, hey, what did I do with my life?
Like, hey, what am I doing? But the thing is, you don't always have to make it too big. Like, you need to start somewhere and then you get there.
And also remember, they will always put out there what they want you to see.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Don't fall into that trap.
When we tell them that social media is a scam, and we are all in that scam, we are all players in that scam.
We're all victims.
We're all victims and process in that scam. We're all players in that scam.
Exactly.
And so you falling for something is not entirely my fault.
No.
That is an opinion platform.
Well, you also need to realize that if this is your presence and it's not offering you anything, you should allow the hope of the future to keep you on. Because the fact that you just entered business, let me say 1 year, and you feel like, oh, I've not really done anything. Like, people have been in business for 10 years, 20 years, and everything. And you can't come and compare yourself to someone who has been in business for 2 or 3 or 4 years. You also need to put in the work and then get there. Like you said, you don't have to be so entitled that, okay, Miriam is my friend. By force, Miriam has to post for me. No. Go out there and look for the people to help you get there.
Do the work. Do the work.
Ladies, you are at the right place at the right time. You are women that, and when we decide that we're going to do a DISH Women's Conference, these are my guests. You've seen them. Because these women are giving us practical knowledge on how to run businesses, the attitude to face your businesses with, the energy you need to put in, essentially the attitude you need to, the character you need to build to start businesses in this country. And ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Very welcome. Our pleasure.
You love this, right? Let's do this again. Part 2 of this. Producer, please, part 2. Now, did you know that all the 41 LPG companies and 800 stations across the country are 100% built and operated by indigenous Ghanaians? When you refill your cylinder with us, you support the growth of the indigenous businesses, including women businesses, and create more jobs. But that's not the only reason for you to choose us. Our LPG distribution system offers unbeatable value, allowing you to buy any amount of the products in whichever quantities you need, making it incredibly pocket friendly. Worried about being cheated? Well, with us, you can watch freely with your eyes open as your cylinder gets filled. Plus, we have weighing scales at every station, so you can double check the weight of the quantity filled. That is trust guaranteed. Switch to LPG for your car, especially if you drive a taxi. It is more environmentally friendly, helping protect our precious ecosystem. Go green with LPG and make a difference. Remember, when the last tree dies, the last man dies. Refill your LPG cylinder at your nearest gas station and help save our forests and environments. Let's protect Ghana for this generation and the next. LPG Marketing Company Association of Ghana, your affordable, pocket-friendly, trustworthy, and eco-friendly choice. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap for today's conversation. I need you to stay with us on all our social media platforms. I want to say a big thank you to DecoZone, course, for this beautiful set. Betway Cowbell, Flora Tissue, Tango Washing Powder, Telecel, Clap Shandy, and LPG. Now, to you special people out here, I want to say thank you for always joining us right here on the show. Let's do this again next week, because it is all about building women with a great attitude for business, for character, for everything important. Because I always keep saying that, listen, we are growing together. We're growing together. So everything we need to learn to grow together, we're doing it right here on The Dish. My name is Miriam Uduak Mensah. And of course, follow us on all social media platforms. It's MX24GH on all social media platforms. Right? Stay with us. The conversation continues right there. See you again next week.
Okay, you're watching MX24 TV, and this your boy Perez Music. Ciao!